because I want the crown, but I don't want the kitchen. That looks a little messy. Where did I sit? Okay. Okay. Now I should kind of like that though. All right. That looks cute. That looks cute. Okay. I'm going to breathe. Okay. Oh, shoot. I forgot. Oh, no, I didn't forget my phone. Okay. So, why am I here? I'm here for a very specific reason. Okay. I'm going to read the themes of what's coming up so that I can I love reusing content. I love recycling, it is super smart because each time I write it, it gets a little better. Okay. So this morning, okay, first I gotta say I have a currently secret, but won't be secret long. It's only secret because we haven't told anybody, really. I think it's our friends. Anyway, I'm part of a really cool team. And it was a big, it felt like a really big honor to be invited. And it is made up of people. I think my favorite way to meet people is in like an authentic relating circle. I think that's pretty clear based on my patterns of how I've found friends since basically 2017. Okay, I got a lot of breathing to do because it's a lot of big stuff. Okay, let's read this. All right, so the Jedi team. We call ourselves I think it's the Authentic Relating Jedi team. Yeah. All right, so one of the members and I are birthday twins. Not the same age, but I can't remember how old she is. She's younger, but I just can't remember how much younger. Every single person is super fantastic. Every single person has their own like zone of genius and practice. I knew all but one of them. There's two people I don't know very well, but I still met them in circle. Several of the people I have gotten to know through like deep dive immersions of authentic relating retreats. So we've seen each other's beginning of the cracking, basically. Except for Phoenix, I didn't witness. Well, I don't know. Maybe she would say I've been witnessing some of her early, like more cracking, new layers. Anyway, on task. So this team and I are on Telegram, and we have a bunch of different threads going, like resources and ideas and meeting notes and stuff. In general, this morning, I first started with our meeting is 4 to 6 on Wednesday, this Wednesday, right? I screwed up and committed to stay at a pet sit client's until at least 4:30. Would it be super irritating if I listened in on Zoom until I arrive? I kind of want to explore my options before telling her I can't do it. That was while I was out for a walk with my doggo that I'm pet sitting. He's super cute. Request for support. I don't know when or how yet. I got some big stuff surfacing. We'll need Jedi level support in divine timing. Maybe a triad, maybe virtual. Support/witnesses will need to be very well resourced. I have more folks on my team to ask as well, so this isn't my only pool. I have some context to add. Please don't respond until I say over and out. First, all my basic needs are met at a high level. I am pet sitting in a truly gorgeous space with a super fantastic dog. I'm able to self-regulate and have bath, outdoor spaces, etc. I didn't want anybody to worry because, my words and the way people use some of the words I will, inspires fear. the first reaction is often fear, unless someone is super well resourced and like, yeah, able to hold that. Okay. I also have 2 to 3 hours a week of professional support through ITTC, which is the Integrated Trauma Treatment Center. Except my therapist has canceled all our appointments for months. So I don't think she's actually aware of it, but I believe I'm aware of it. I'm talking about my therapist. So side note from the text. Uh, I had I hit a really rough spot a couple months ago. I mean, I could figure out the dates if I tried. Um, a couple of months ago, I hit a really rough spot. A couple of my best friends and I had like a difficult conversation, um, primarily about my emotional behavior. So I did what I thought is the best thing to do, and I messaged my therapist, who I will admit I had already started to think maybe she's too young, maybe she's too inexperienced to work with me. But either she hasn't figured it out yet or she hasn't gotten the guts up to tell me that she needs to pass me to someone else. I think our next session, or I'll just maybe I'll email her, like, hey, is there another therapist that perhaps has more experience with some of my, like with specifically late diagnosis autism? I got to send her that list of questions I've seen somewhere. Maybe it's in my report, but she hasn't sent it yet. Anyway, okay, I'm going to come back to my message. No. Oh, that's right. I was saying the therapist. I think there's an energetic. She's staying away. Either my like, I don't know what to call them yet. Maybe they're light protectors. I don't know. They're my angels, guides, guardians, and enlightened beings. Because I was like trying to, I was trying not to leave anyone out when I did that. I just need a shorter name. Anyway, either it's mine or hers. After I told her that I was in crisis, I needed more sessions or a group. I think I specifically said, like, sometimes a group is the only way. I require a group to be held, basically. No one person, even if they're professionally trained, can hold the hold how I show up, I guess, in a grounded way. At least I rarely meet that outside of my authentic relating group. The only thing about the authentic relating group crew is that we have all gone through a ton of hard stuff in our lives, as well as in the past handful of years. Uh, it's not really a surprise, but so what was I going to say about that? Oh, in my group of friends, there's varying degrees of like res, what's the word I use? Well resourced. There's varying degrees of resourced, and not everybody is super good at being able to realize, really truly recognize their true level of resourced. They may overestimate it. So I'm gonna burp because burping comes up when I'm releasing energy. I should probably remember to talk about burping. Anyway, the first couple of sessions she canceled. They were absolutely last minute. The first was her husband was diagnosed with COVID. The second, she was diagnosed with COVID, and in both cases, I mean, we meet virtually, but of course, if she's sick and doesn't feel good, I wouldn't want to meet. But that took care of the first month of sessions we didn't get, and then I feel like, oh, and then another one got canceled because I was in Washington and I didn't know that meant she couldn't talk to me. And she seemed pretty happy about it. Oh, so maybe we've had one session in the past 2 months. I don't know. Anyway, she's had a variety of reasons to not see me. The one session we had was pretty chill, and she did give me some good stuff, but I have gotten a lot of support from the groups I've joined. I did immediately get into some groups through the treatment center after I told her I needed more support. All right, back to the text that I sent to the Jedis. All right, I'm gonna set my phone here so I don't have to touch it because it hurts to touch my phone too much. Okay, that means I gotta sit up. Okay. All right. The potential triggers for others spans a huge range, hence the well-resourced. Lifelong themes. Adults aren't safe. No one can tolerate me when I'm energetically big. Okay. I can't remember the words you're supposed to say when you go like this, but I know it still is good, even if you just do it. I guess I'm visualizing what I'm supposed to say, and I'm letting my body move. 'Cause I am a wiggle worm, and I get to be a wiggle worm. No one can say I can't be a wiggle worm. Fuck you, I'm a wiggle worm. Okay, do I want to get up and move around? Oh, I just tweaked my back. I gotta be careful. Okay. Oh, so no one can make me look at them if I don't want to. I don't want to. It's all because I want to. Okay, I'm wearing these pants, and I gotta make sure I write a. I gotta write a blog post, or I've started it, but I gotta finish it. I gotta write one about how I inaccurately named my very favorite soft pants ever. I got a little excited because that's what I was wearing, and I often just like really love whatever I'm wearing. But at best, they're my second favorite. These are definitely my favorite. Yeah, because hi, Jasper. I got them with my two besties in Palm Springs, and they were only $5. And they're the most comfortable thing I think I've ever worn in my life. I really wish I had gotten more of them. And they were in a store that was like super sparkly. And so like everything about that was awesome. And then they just are like physically perfect. And they've got my like true lifelong best friend on here, Cannabis. I got a lots of talking to do about her. But I'll start with my first memories of Cannabis. I know I got off track, but that's okay. This is my space. I could do whatever I want, and I can be a wiggle worm, and I can go off track, and I can do whatever I want. Because that's why I come to the art of processing. That's the one where I get to be messy, and you know that might be what happens here. So you can stop it if you want. You can pause it if you want. You can fast forward if you want. You can go away if you want. It's all about what you want and what feels good to you. You are a sovereign being. Make your own choices. If you don't like it, please go somewhere else. There's lots of other people out there that you might like better. Don't hang out with people you don't really like. It's a really basic thing, but lots of people still do it. I don't know why. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that Jasper's going to be in the screen sometimes. Oh, maybe I should move a little more, and we'll get a little more Jasper. Yes, anytime you run around, maybe maybe I take breaks sometimes, and we play a little keep away. Yeah, you bring me something, and you bring me something, and we'll play keep away. Okay, we've been playing it a lot. He finally was really relaxed with me. I got here on Thursday, and it's Saturday. I got here Thursday? Really? Only been that many days? I guess so. No? Shit. I gotta look at what the fucking day is it? Okay. I don't believe in the current commonly held concept of time, so I often forget what day it is, or yeah. How many days have actually passed since something happened that I'm trying to remember? Okay. All right. So I was saying lifelong themes. Adults aren't safe. Okay, that's right. I was going to say, why is that what I felt? Because I did not have consistent caretakers. Bring me a toy. Caretakers. No consistent caretakers. My mom was very young. She was at a tough part of her life and actually got real close to getting herself a nice little drug habit, but she didn't. But she also did get kicked out of grandma's house for a while. And she told me recently that she used to yell at me a lot until grandma said, "Hey, you can't do that." But I was really young and there was lots of yelling either around me or at me. And grandma and her kind of butthead husband worked really hard. Grandma had a bakery that I also spent a lot of time in. I hope more like positive memories of that come back, but I was pretty young. So there wasn't consistency, and I don't know for sure, but I think I sometimes got forgotten about because I just kind of have this sense of walking around like an empty or quiet house and kind of wanting something to eat or wanting someone. Yeah, I would have been a toddler, so I think I had to become pretty self-sufficient very early on, and I think my sensitivities were probably um, really a liability for me at that point. Because yeah. All right, next one. Uh, Another reason adults aren't safe. Well, no, I get to that. Never mind. Birth to recent. No one reliably watches out for me until I am in mortal danger. Actual, not perceived. So the first flash of memory I have of mortal danger, I was probably around 4.5 or so, just based on that's how old I suppose I was when we were there. I was swimming in the ocean, not far from the shore of Maui with my friend, and I was having fun, and we were splashing around, and I was feeling kind of badass because I was a little further out than I think I'd ever been before. And I remember looking at the beach, and the grown-ups were there, and they were all just kind of blah, 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 not really looking at me. And then all of a sudden, someone saw me and they saw that I was swimming straight for a big rock. And they saw that and they started running towards the water and jumped in and started swimming out to me. And I kept going toward the rock and I didn't know why everybody was screaming at me and I couldn't really hear them. So I thought I better get to the rock so I can hold on and then I can listen. Okay, I gotta get up. Okay, is that what you want to play with now? Is it time to play with that? Is it time? Okay, so Jasper is the master of after sad time, there's playtime. And see, I'm really nervous about my boobs because that was a big issue. But I'm reclaiming my body. And for a 50-year-old lady, I actually have some pretty nice boobies. They are surgically, I used to have really big boobies and I hated them. And it hurt. I had I had 5 pounds of boobies removed in around 2006. So I have really young boobies. Okay. I gotta reclaim my boobies in my body. All right. Birth to recent, no one reliably watches out for me. Oh yeah, that's why he's telling a story. First time I nearly died. Let's get on with that story. Okay, when I left off, the adults were yelling at me and starting to swim towards me, and I'm trying to swim for a rock. Like one of those classic scenes where someone's trying to throw themselves in front of someone else who's about to get like shot or something. So I Finally realized, I don't think I got all the way to the rock. I think I was really close. And I finally realized they were saying, get away from the rock. Um, Jellyfish or something. Maybe they didn't say that. It was just get away from the rock. Because apparently, right after a big storm, the baby man-o-wars, which happened to be extremely painful and bad, like toxic to be touched by, like really bad. Apparently, right after a storm, they all go hang out by a big rock. And so the people who knew that saw that rock, saw me going for it, and knew like, holy shit, she is going right for a swarm of man-o-war. So I remember a bunch of pain, but not really. It's not like I feel it in my body. I think the memory is blacked out after that. So I don't remember being brought back to the beach. It's sort of a bummer. Okay, well, I guess I'm learning about the ocean right now. Because the main place that I've almost died is in the ocean. Not all of them, but maybe when I get through more of the mortal danger stories, it'll become clear the majority include the ocean. So maybe the ocean is really important to my healing. Yeah, probably. It's kind of obvious. I should get some work at the coast so I can get paid to hang out at the ocean. Or I just go and have vacation. Okay, back to the story. Yeah, most surroundings, the expectation is that you can stay on a story. But I think trying to stay on one track for a while kind of requires a lot of energy, and it actually requires some like projection into the future, a second or so, to try to figure out where you're going with this. But if I take breaks from the primary story stream and do some self-regulation tools, which I don't often do in public because I usually am mixing up a bunch of stuff. And when you're in a yoga class, they expect you to do yoga. And when you're taking a Qigong class, they expect you to do Qigong. So I have the best, coolest Qigong course. I can do it whenever I want. I can do however I want, and the teacher doesn't get mad at me for being a wiggle worm. She wouldn't anyway, actually, but it's Catherine Bird's 5 Elements Emotional Alchemy? I don't know. I have to look up the title. I gotta focus my words. Okay, so I'm starting to learn where it's like a tributary to self-regulate and like cool down. Like the main stream is really fast and kind of boiling, and every once in a while there's a rapids. Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to float into a tributary for a little bit, calm down, and then join back in to a little bit calmer river, but it'll ramp back up to another rapids. Okay. All right. So when I awoke, kind of became aware again, or at least the next memory I have is a bunch of dudes standing over me and peeing on me. And of course, I hated that. I'm like, why are you peeing on me? Or maybe I said, no, gross. Because because I'm extremely sensitive to all kinds of stuff. And now, actually, even a doctor told me that's why I feel so intense all the time because I am really sensitive. Okay, so everybody's peeing on me. Yeah, so no, I'm super not into like golden showers. No, no, thank you. One time, my what's up, baby? You need a game? One time, my sweetie and I were in a like sex toy shop. Just it's so curious, and I don't know. I might have found something we liked. We didn't, but one thing we saw was a mouth urine funnel thing. Like somehow you wear this thing on your face so that someone can pee. Okay, and I know, like that story where the dude gets his arm cut hot and he has to drink his own pee to live. I know there's reasons, but so this one is a distraction. I'm learning the difference between a self-regulation tributary and a distraction. Okay. Mortal danger. Yeah, I'll just stay with the first one. I mean, I don't remember anything else about it. I just know that based on, story from my mom, that, I'll do the second mortal danger too, because it's in Hawaii and it's why paradise became hell. Okay. Yeah, apparently I went to the ER and apparently, it was like, these were all surfer dudes. So they probably had been stung before and probably knew like how bad it hurt and knew that one of the ways to neutralize it is pee. At least that was commonly believed then. I don't know if it still is, but apparently the doctors said if they hadn't peed on me, I would have died. Mortal danger number 1. I will say the visuals I see, and I think this is kind of, I think this is related. The actual visual memories I have, I've always, you know what? It's interesting. I've always seen this particular memory from afar. I just realized, well, no, I remember a couple times. Yeah, I remember some memories of being like seen through my own eyes, but there was a lot of kind of watching myself from a distance. Even when I wasn't near the rock yet, like I was dog paddling and it's beautiful, like really, and the water feels amazing. I'm probably only wearing like a bikini bottom because I'm a little kid. Like little kids don't have to. Maybe I'm even naked. I don't know. Little kids can be naked, and most people aren't going to be buttheads about it. They'll just be like, "Oh, yeah, there's a natural little little naked baby." Yes, I remember. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Like water, sand, happy grown-ups having fun. I'm having fun. I had some friend, might have been Barama. Might have just been some random kid. I don't know. Splashing around, feeling like a badass because I'm out further than I usually am, and I feel really safe because I feel confident in my swimming ability. And we're in a little cove, and it's just so green and colorful and vibrant. And then you take into account that I have like a much higher level of perception than most people do. I don't really want to say that most people do because I can't help but wonder if more people have the ability to see at the level that I do, um, if they practiced. Because I couldn't always do this. I mean, I always could do this, but then I had lots of layers like covering everything up. So the world became more dull and colorless. And I had to actively participate in the process of removing stuff. That's tough. So yeah, gorgeous surroundings, mortal danger, um, frightening, like middle of the story kind of trauma. And yeah, when I don't know, I remember I was 14 or 15. I had a, where the hell is my damn phone making that noise? Oh my gosh. Oh, see, it's right in front of me. Okay. All right. So heaven, being the surroundings I was in, becomes hell. And so the other way that happened is, so mortal danger number 2. I still love, at this stage in my life that I'm talking about, I still love Maui. Like, it is magical. It is beautiful. People are like so community oriented and kind and fun. And I'm the only kid for the most part, for most of the time, because my mom was in her early 20s and not ever, it wasn't super common for people her age to already have a baby or a toddler. So I always felt really special being able to be with the grown-ups. And it was very much a kids should be seen and not heard, kind of early, mid 70s. Most adults still felt that way. But there was definitely, I guess there was like subtle mortal danger in the build up to the story I'm about to tell. But like, we had some geese for a while and they were super mean and they loved to pinch my butt. They loved to get a hold of my butt and just like, they'd even twist their motherfucking heads. I did eventually make a super good friend that was a goose and we would just like cuddle and stuff. But so I cleared that goose fear, but those motherfuckers would chase me. And so I spent a lot of time in the trees because the geese couldn't get me in the trees. But I swear to God, sometimes they would like circle around the tree and like yell at me, kind of like fucking wolves. So anyway, obviously I'm having very clear memories of this. We lived in a beautiful like red house, I think, up on a hill. I believe we called it Haleakala. I don't know if that's like a town, or I don't think it's like the name of the house property. I don't know. And that's where we met my stepdad, my eventual stepdad. And anyway, so I would be, okay, so I'd be in the tree and then I would look and see if the geese were busy doing something else. Okay, they're over there, they're sleeping and stuff. I think I'm okay. And I would slowly come down the tree and then I would run my ass off to the back door. But as soon as the geese would always see me like climbing down the tree and they'd start running towards me and they're doing their honking and I'm running. And then sometimes the back door would be locked. And so I'd be banging on the door, let me in, let me in. Or I don't know, maybe I just couldn't figure out how to open the door. I don't know. I mean, I'm little. Let me in with a goose hanging off my ass and more coming to try to get more of my ass. Fuckers. All right. Light, okay. Mortal danger light. Maybe it's just the witness of the mortal danger more than directly in it. I came around, I could hear yelling and I came around the into the doorway that could see into the kitchen. And my mom and Pete are yelling at each other. Who knows what they're mad at? Our cat Ralph is, I think he's getting in the way. She's getting in the way. We did think she was a boy though till she had kids. They are yelling, and there are knives being thrown. So when I saw the knives, I did leave, but I was also afraid. I kind of wanted to also watch to make sure that mom didn't get a knife in her. I don't know. Okay, so no knives were directed at me, yet I was in the danger zone, Okay. Okay, let's get to the pretty story that I want to tell about cannabis. So, my first memory of cannabis is, even though it was super illegal, the adults, I was surrounded by were like, cannabis is a cash crop and it's fucking awesome and we should have it around. And the growing conditions are amazing. And back then, you could hide a patch, especially like a kind of smallish one. You could hide a patch of cannabis in sugar cane, and they didn't like do flyovers yet, as far as I know, looking for them. So anyway, we had one of those patches, and I loved being in that patch. It smelled so good, and the plants are so pretty. And mom would go out there and talk to them and take care of them, and I loved talking to them and taking care of them, um, and watching them grow. It's just a fascinating plant. Uh, so those memories are vague, but even the clear memory is vague, but I've always believed that it is true and it seems really plausible. And I love the memory a lot. So it's nighttime and the moon is out so bright that it's that kind of almost daytime bright, but you need snow to get that bright for it to reflect off of. And of course, I've seen lots of that in Alaska. And it's so yeah, the moon is just it's like everybody's glowing, because the side of them, there's adults, and we're all dancing. We're dancing in the moonlight with the cannabis patch. I was just fucking digging it, and I'm like everybody's knee height or something. So I also have to make sure. I'm sure they were all, stoned or on mushrooms or something. Who knows? So I had to make sure I, didn't get tripped over or fallen on. But dancing in the moonlight with the cannabis plants, and it would like reflect on the side of, that was facing the moon, and then the other side would be sort of in the shadow. Like such a fucking cool effect. And maybe just maybe that's just what I see in my memory, but I don't know, based on how, again, the level of detail I see, perhaps that's what was really happening. And I don't want to go off right now onto the tangent of the role cannabis has played in my life and how it's in many ways like walked alongside me, whether in growth stage and I don't know. Actually, there was a period of time where mom and Pete were growing cannabis in my room and had the grow lights up there. And so I didn't have a lot of floor space as it was, but they took up pretty much all the available floor space for plants. And the grow light would go on, click at a certain time, which was definitely earlier than I wanted it to be, but there was, I don't know. Anyway, that's Alaska. I haven't gotten to the major trauma that was, like mortal danger. Yeah. All right. So at some point, Pete got quite involved in the import export of goods and drugs. And I'm sure he was getting very successful at it. I have memories of finding a shotgun under the couch cushions. Pretty sure I asked about it. but who knows what they said. Um, in that same house, we dog sat this really awesome dog, but the motherfucker killed some of my kittens when Ralph had kittens. A bunch of them like had horrible deaths. Armando, the dog, who I loved, and it just crushed me. He killed a couple, I think at least two. And then it became the stress of how do we keep the kittens away from Armando. He was a bull terrier, I think. And then I watched one fall from the top of the fridge when someone opened the door and didn't see the kitten there. And the kitten hung on the door for a second, and then it fell and it hit multiple things on the way down and flattened on the floor. So, like, what was that, 6 feet or so fall for a young kitten? Yeah, not good. Okay. I wish I had some sage. I really wish I had some sage. I guess I'll just have to pretend I'll get some soon. All right. Nope, I didn't finish. Crap. Okay. Maybe I should treat this like a therapy session and take a break at an hour. It's been 40 minutes. That seems like a good idea. Check in with Jasper, see if I'm on track. I love having cool tech. I mean, this stuff is, I just can't get over the fact that it's better than what Captain T. Kirk had. Just can't get over it. All right. Shit. So, gosh, I am very avoidant. Okay, so I will say I have only the tiniest flashes of memories of the lead up to and the jungle time. There's a lot I don't have clear memories. However, my mom has been really consistent with her story over the decades. So, and recently filled in some more detail. So I'll try to do my best to say it to be accurate based on her recent story. But it's been months, so I could get some wrong. Okay. So, oh yeah, I had also found shoe boxes full of cash in the closet. And I mean, I'm like 5, but I know that's not normal. I haven't had it confirmed yet, but I believe there was a lot of coke in the house. I believe at some point Mom admitted she had a daily coke habit a couple different times in her life, and I think that was one of them, but I don't know for sure. But, coke changes mommies. Okay, so someday I'll put a pin in. Yeah, I've got it in the book. Okay, talk about when Ralph's kittens were born another time. All right, yep, a break at an hour sounds like a good idea. So, Pete was getting really good at the drug lord stuff, but he was just a small time drug lord or whatever. I don't know what you call him, but he was getting the kind of attention you don't want from the big dudes, the really big drug dudes. I guess my mom said one of them at some point said, "Hey, you know what? I really like you. You're really cute. How about we send your kid to boarding school and we go like live the high life?" I don't know which drug lord that was, or if he was like lower, but still important. I don't know. But she said we could have had quite the lifestyle, except for I would have grown up in boarding school. Who knows if it would be like, we'll never see you again, you don't exist, or you can come home for summer break. Who knows? She said no. Anyway, we went with the he was really handsome then. Like Pete was so handsome. Like he was the sexy, I think he was in the rodeo. I don't know that for sure, but he did a lot of badass stuff. Like for some reason, I believe that he was involved in a train robbery in Peru, but I don't know. I'll have to ask if anyone else knows about that. And he's like, again, super. He looks like what's that guy? I don't know. He looked like a version of Jesse James, but I have no idea what Jesse James looked like. And you know what? Jesse James used to be considered to be a cool dude, but now apparently everybody hates him. Okay, so obviously I keep avoiding. All right, so the drug lord stuff. Let's get it out. All right, little tiny bit of context. My mom's best friend, can't remember her name right now, and my mom and this lady were super good friends, and her daughter was Marama, and she was my very best friend. We were like sisters. We went through some shit together. Like one point we were backed up back to back by the tetherball thing, and the bullies were circled around us, and they were gonna do what, I don't know, and we were swinging our little purses at all the big fucking bullies, because I think I was one of the only white kids. I don't remember why they were trying to beat us up, but we got out of there with the purses, and that's when my mom showed up and scared away all the bullies. And told us what badasses we were. Anyway, so Marama and I were besties, super duper close. And when her mom got married, we were the flower girls. And so pretty. And then the lady that was my mom's best friend was driving our car and died in a horrible crash. She drove off a cliff. And then for some reason, I don't know why, there was a belief that since that was mom's car, it was meant to kill her. And maybe me. I don't know. So that's not actually for sure. That's not one of the mortal dangers. Except I was, I guess, just didn't get in a car crash. Mickey, that was her name. Mickey died in a horrible car crash in our car. The official explanation was she was drunk. But the believed explanation was that it was a warning hit on Pete's woman. So we went into hiding in the jungle, apparently. I don't remember anything about that. But we had Samoan guards, big dudes that were like on Pete's team or something. And they were our guards for a bit. And so I know for sure it was Mom and Marama and I. I don't know if we were in a little house or camping, or I don't know what we were doing. Apparently there was also another danger coming from another direction, in that Mickey apparently had like kind of run away with Marama from Marama's dad, because he was a super rich dude, but super bad. And turns out apparently he had heard that Mickey had died, so he wanted to come and get Marama. And so we were also hiding from him. We came out of the jungle because Marama's grandparents arrived to pick her up. And for some reason, I have some idea that like Mickey had been adopted, or I don't know, maybe not. And then, but the grandpa was some sort of military dude, I think. And so I just have this vague memory of kind of an older, stern-looking grandpa dude, and a really quiet, like she's just a shape, shorter woman. And Marama is looking towards me, but leaning against someone's legs. I don't know, maybe probably grandma. Grandma's holding her, and I know that she's going away to Florida, and I'm gonna miss her a lot. and I'm crying, I'm sure, and I somehow asked, like, I think I probably was sobbing, so so it probably had to be translated. I asked if I could write to her or call her, and, he said, "No, you can never have contact with her again." So I didn't. And I don't know the sequence of events, but apparently, at some point, I flew by myself, and I believe it was from Hawaii to California. And I don't know where, again, the sequence of events has happened, but I flew by myself. And I was young for sure. And so the stewardesses, that's what we called them then, the stewardesses were like keeping a really close eye on me, and they let me come sit up front with them and got me ice cream and stuff. But it was so gross because people could still smoke on planes then. Fucking awful. Okay, so back to the story. So we have come out of the jungle, and my best friend has just been taken away forever and ever, and I am distraught. And at some point, in some way, we packed up and moved to Alaska. So in Alaska, I don't know how long we lived in the Anchorage area, but and we lived in Eagle River for a bit or stayed with people. I don't know. I only have flashes of memory, and it's sort of like I'm in this unfamiliar house, and I like woke up from a nap or something, and I'm in an unfamiliar house, and I don't know where anybody is, and I don't know. Anyway, uh, around my 7th birthday, I think they kind of even framed it as my birthday present. I don't know. Um, we drove to Homer. It's a really long drive. At some point, I was put in the back of the truck, in the back of the pickup truck, which I hated because almost all the road, like for a really long ways, the road was dirt and not like smooth like gravel graded, like nice. It was full of potholes and narrow bits and like literally in many places felt like you were on the edge of a cliff because you were, and there were no guardrails, and there were narrow parts where you had to like wait if you met another car. And sometimes in the breakup period where literally the roads are freezing, I mean defrosting at different rates, and so the potholes get bigger. And I think one time the road was even closed for a while because it broke through. Anyway, yeah, so we just suddenly moved to Alaska, and I'm at we are driving out to what is apparently our property now. Pete must have preceded us and found this property, and some friends of ours had gone in on some property with him, and he got in an Airstream trailer up there, and I think I recently learned it was Uncle Tom's trailer, who was Pete's uncle. Super amazing dude. Died on my 17th birthday. My brother Thomas is named after him. Thanks, Uncle Tom. Oh, you know what? I just realized he died on my birthday to get me back. Because when I was little, he was visiting once, and we were in the trailer, and I was curious. I'm like, dude, this dude looks old. I mean, he's old looking. He's all craggy, and he smokes, and he's a really gravelly voice, and he's old. I don't know how old, but anyway. So I thought about it for a while, and then I just was like, kind of like, so Uncle Tom, when do you think you're gonna kick the bucket? I can't believe I asked him. And I'm sure my mom was like, Heather, go outside. I have no idea what he said. I think he was in his 70s, though. Definitely been some hard living. So, Uncle Tom, when are you going to kick the bucket? So, yeah, he died on my 17th birthday. So he was like, here's when I'm going to kick the bucket, kid. And I don't know what number Mortal Danger episode that was, but my birthday, 17th birthday, was combined with Mortal Danger. So I'll tell that story later. Back to I can't seem to get through this story. I need to stop soon and have some more food. So we get to this property, and it's been such a long trip, and I'm so tired, and I'm so tired of being like bounced around, and every once in a while I would look over the edge and like, where are we and how much further? Oh my god. I probably got thrown in the back, because not thrown, they didn't literally throw me, they just stopped and said get in the back of the truck. I probably, yeah, got sent back there because I kept asking, oh my god, when are we gonna get there? How far is it? Because when it was all gravel, it was at least a 45-minute trip. It wasn't all gravel. It stopped at it became gravel at Fritz Creek. Excuse me. Whew. God, I love Fritz Creek post office and store. Fucking love that place. Okay. Anyway, and the restaurant across the street was awesome. It was so sad when it closed. That's also the scene of where I got in my first car accident. Okay. So we're driving. I'm really annoyed. I keep looking over and I'm like, God, it's really pretty. That's a beautiful mountain. Like, I remember the first time I saw my favorite glacier, basically. My favorite glacier has been the subject of just so many photos and so many memories. Just fucking love that glacier so much. Super sad that it's melted a lot. So we finally get there, and all there is a Airstream trailer, not very big. I can see it's not very big, and nothing else but bushes and trees and weird grass and weird plants I'd never seen. Some of them had spikes, and if you accidentally touched it, we called it pushki. I don't know what the fuck its real name is. If you touched the pushki, it would stab you. like stinging nettles feel, but worse, because they drew blood, depending on the pushki. But the confusing thing was, once it died and dried, it was fucking awesome to play with. It would be like a, big sword or something. Anyway. So yeah, we ran away. As far away as we could go. And I don't know if it was also that we couldn't be found, or if it just really was that was the land of opportunity, and you could get cheap land and make a lot of money as a fisherman. At least back in those days, it was still a bit of a gamble, but it was. People would come home from, a couple of weeks with just thousands of dollars, many, many thousands of dollars. So I think we only spent one winter in the trailer, I think. And it was horrible. There was the back room was where Mom and Pete slept, and sometimes I'd take naps back there and stuff, like during the day. If I needed quiet time, I'd go in there. because there was a little thing, you could pull closed. But there was never sound. There was never privacy of sound, like in any of my home spaces. So I slept on the couch. I don't recall it being very comfortable. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Um, I don't think we used the toilet in the trailer, but maybe they dug a hole, or I don't know. I don't know that detail. I don't know when we had an outhouse, but obviously didn't have one at the very beginning because there was you just pull a trailer up, and Buddy and Mary and their kid, I think there was a kid, had a yellow bus parked like a little bit, like a little in the back field. And that was kind of like their space, and trailer was our space, but we spent a lot of time together. They did have a kid. Um, and I was still obviously just like really hurting, and missing Marama and missing Maui, of course. And wondering what the fuck I'm doing in Alaska, in the middle of nowhere with like no resources. I mean, of course there was some, but it was not what I was used to. I was used to houses, like an actual house with an actual indoor bathroom and electricity. Electricity was super. I really missed electricity. And I really hated oil lamps because I guess technically I was in mortal danger, like just being at home. Because if you knock over an oil lamp, fire. If a heating fire gets out of control, fire, burn down your home. Anyway, so in the winter, I would sometimes wake up super cold, and I would look at the walls of the Airstream trailer, and they would be frost all over them. So I would go, oh, that makes sense. And I'm really cold. Can we please turn the heater on? And I don't know what the situation was, but I know I was cold a lot. The whole time I lived in Alaska, I was cold most of the time. And I didn't like being cold, and I hated being dirty, but without indoor plumbing and easy access to water and easy ways to heat it up, because we had to carry the propane, so we had to not use it a lot. And I hated using the wood cook stove when we had that, because fuck, that was a lot of work. But somehow my mom got super good at it, and we could even bake bread in it. And I also kind of loved that stove because it was pretty. Yeah, ice on the walls of the trailer. Very cold. That sucks. And then in the winter, one time when Pete was gone, and it was just me and mom and her big belly because she was pregnant with my brother Tom. So I must have been at least 7.5. Yeah, because I turned 8 right before he was born. Yeah, my 7th birthday, I wore my favorite hat, and it said, "Oh shit, Kodiak, Alaska" on it. So one fine winter morning, we woke up to find that there'd been a big snowstorm. I mean, maybe we'd known it. I don't know, who knows? It'd probably been windy and awful all night long, and, knocked the trailer around. It was always very scary. I was always afraid it was going to fall over in the wind, because sometimes the wind was really big. So anywho, we woke up and it's so covered in snow that we couldn't open the door. But we had to open the door because by that point we had animals, and maybe we had to go to the outhouse. I don't know. Maybe we had an outhouse by then, probably. But mom was so big, so maybe it was late winter. I don't know. Mom was already kind of big, and I obviously was smaller. So we dug the snow into the trailer. I think we were also putting it like in pots and melting it on the on the stove, on the propane stove, because we did have propane in the trailer. And then so we would just keep scooping snow, but it sucked because of course you couldn't get it all, and the floors were wet for whoever knows how long. And until I could crawl out, until we could open the door enough for me to crawl out. That sucked too. I hated being cold. And unfortunately, I didn't always have like super great winter gear because we're broke. Okay, that's my sign to stop. My sweetie's calling me. Gonna go. Thanks for being on there, receiving in. If anybody ever sees this, okay, bye.